One morning, the Topham Hatt came to Thomas and asked him to go to the quarry to go pick up a load of sleepers, trucks, and others for a new station that was being built further down the line. Thomas was happy about this because it was somewhat a special. And with that, Thomas set off to the quarry to go pick up his heavy load. But when Thomas got there, he was surprised to see what he was pulling. He saw that the train was very long, and that it would take 2 trips to deliver the long line of things that he had to do. He soon went to go find a turntable to turn round and get ready for his train. "I can't do this," said Thomas. "This train will take way too long, and I want to go back to the sheds for a rest. If only there was a way to do it faster." "Take your time, Thomas," said the driver. "If you take your time and do it carefully, then you can get the job done faster." But Thomas wasn't pleased and set off to go find the turntable. Once he had turned round, he started thinking of a plan. "Maybe," he said to himself, "if I take the train at the same time, I could get the job done faster and get it over with." He thought he was clever, but really he was being foolish. So he backed down to the first line of cars and then slowly moved them out of the siding to his other train and was getting ready to leave. Soon after, he was coupled on and was getting ready to leave. Soon he was leaving and pulling away with his very heavy train. It was hard at first, but puff by puff and wheel turn by wheel turn, he slowly pulled away, thinking how clever he was. But his troubles were only beginning. Soon he started to feel the strain of pulling all of those trucks and freight and such, and he soon started to go slowly towards the hill. But at the top, he had gotten stuck, and he was slowly trying to move towards the other side and go speedily down to finish his delivery. It took a very long time, but at last he had finally started moving and was heading down the hill. But what he didn't know was that since he was pulling very heavy trucks and flatbeds, he was gonna come off the rails, and with that, he had crashed. He soon realized his mistake and why his driver had said earlier to take trips during the day, backwards and forwards, throughout the day, and that way he would not crash and fall off the rails. He understood this now, but wish he had understood sooner, and he wouldn't have derailed. His driver went back to call for Edward, and soon, after Edward had been told, he set off with the breakdown train to go for Thomas back on the line. After a while, everything was put back on the line, and then Edward helped Thomas to the station to deliver off the materials needed to make the building complete. train was heavy, but the two engines never gave up. They continued on and made it to the station. The two engines were relieved to have finally made it, and they could finally rest their wheels. After that, they shunted the train away into a siding, and then they reversed out onto the line and near the station so they could rest before heading home. And then they were off back to the sheds for a nice, comfortable rest, and then Edward would bring Thomas to the works in the morning so he could be fixed and back in service, ready for the day's work. By then, it was night, and they were enjoying a nice, quiet ride back to the sheds. The end.